we got, and we already hit record. I love this. Russ, where you at, man? There he is. Let me
What's
get.
up, friends?
Let's go ahead and spotlight you. I'm gonna
How
join
are
the
you guys?
spotlight. Let's add my spotlight here. Dude,
There we go.
this is the first time we're having you on a call here.
I think it is. I think it is. Yeah, I've met some of you in person, some of you over calls, but it's great to be with you guys. Thanks so much for having me, Jim, and thanks to Sid for all the coordination effort
Yeah,
setting it up.
Sid makes sure this train keeps running, Russ. Without
Oh
Sid,
yeah,
this train runs right off the tracks.
I get that sense. Yeah, absolutely,
Um,
absolutely.
all right, I'm going to introduce you here, and just kind of this bullet point thing. But guys, I'll tell you, I got to meet Russ in person, in Taormina, Italy, on the island of Sicily. And when you're meeting someone for the first time in a place like that, that whole trip was sponsored by SBLI. I have not missed a trip with SBLI since Quility's partnership with them. Um, and we're going to talk about the trip to Ireland. I assume you'll probably talk about that some tonight.
We sure will. Yep,
Yeah. So guys,
absolutely.
Russ is the head of relationship management and sales support at SBLI. So he's responsible for driving sales and adoption of the SBLI products through multiple distribution channels, as well as managing a team that supports agents' real-time needs, including product questions, sales ideas, training, marketing, communications, and outside of work. Russ is a husband, a father, an avid musician, a gardener, an outdoorsman who can be found at the ocean, in the woods, around his home in Portland, Maine.
That's it.
Love that.
Perfect.
Love
Beautiful.
that. So good,
Awesome.
man. So, guys, Russ, when you've got issues with SBLI application process or questions about this, and you come to me and I'm like, let me check into it. What do you think I'm doing? I am texting Russ. This is the guy I text when you have problems. He'll also be at conference at the SBLI table. So when you're at conference, make sure you stop by the table. You've got a face and a name. Say hi. I saw you on the Larson call. Create that familiarity. He wants to help you, and the better he knows you, the better he can help.
Absolutely. Yep. This is a relationship business. The relationships go two ways, as we all know, right? We're going to do our best to be proactive, to be involved, but that extra introduction, that handshake in person when we're out having a good time in Denver, that goes a long way. So I look forward to meeting as many of you as possible out there
Love
for
that.
sure. Yeah.
So we've had a big change in our relationship with SBLI here shortly, man. When I was in the field, we wrote Quility level term, and that product is no longer available. It's been
That's right.
replaced by EasyTrak. I'm going to kind of turn this whole show over to you, if you don't
Cool.
mind.
Yeah, that sounds great. So before I share, I got a few slides that I'm going to walk through everybody with. I'm going to try to keep it, super informal and not too boring. I'm going to actually do my own little bit of goal setting here, just so everybody kind of gets a sense of what I'm all about and what I'm really here to do. So I'm going to post two things in the chat. I'm going to post my goal, and then I'm also going to post my contact information. So Jim, if I love the fact that you've been fielding requests and texting me. I hope that keeps up. I want everybody on this call to know that they can reach out to me directly if you have questions or if you have feedback. Right, feedback's incredibly important. We want to hear from folks. Right, we want to know what we're doing well, what we could be doing better. We look at every day as kind of a new opportunity here. So I'm gonna do those two things. So here's my goal, and here's my email. Right, so open book. My goal is to make SBLI your favorite carrier. Right, I'm not going to do that overnight, but I hope to get a nice, good kind of kickstart here. My email is rbarnett@sbli.com. So reach out to me, give me feedback. I want to hear from you. Ask me questions. Right, I'm here to help, and I run two teams here at SBLI that are here to do exactly that. Okay.
Point of clarification, Barnett is 2 R's and 2 T's. I had to learn that when I was putting some slides together and stuff for tonight, because I would default to spelling it wrong, and if you
Yep.
spell it wrong, it won't deliver.
That's absolutely right. Yep, we call that the curse of our last name. We actually got an extra R added when my great grandfather came over from Britain, and they hooked him up with an extra R in his last name at Ellis Island. So, and it's been following us ever since. So,
Yeah, I mean it's not dissimilar from Larson with an E, which is
yeah,
the most uncommon way to spell it. I say Larson and people are O-N every single time.
totally,
Mm-hmm.
totally, absolutely. All right, let me get my slideshow going here, and we will share, and we will get this party started. So just bear with me one moment here. All right, can everybody see my screen?
We got it.
All right, and I'm going to try to make this try to make this go away, this little guy on the right here. And if I can't figure out how to do that, then I'm just going to roll and keep it moving. All right. So we are here to talk about a few things, right? Namely the new EasyTrak product, which is now fully available on the Navigator platform that you're all familiar with in the Symmetry Financial Group. We'll talk a little bit about how to find the product, how to get there, and kind of the strategy behind us moving away from direct links and having the product fully available within Navigator. Oops, we're going to go to the next slide. Okay, so we'll do a brief overview of SBLI, who we are, how we're evolving. We're going to talk about EasyTrak, digital term. I'm going to go into a few details around EasyTrak. I'm going to talk about what the product is, and I'm going to talk very much about what the product is not, because I think it's really, really crucial when you have a product that's as rigid from an underwriting standpoint and from a quick decision standpoint for you to really have those levels of understanding. We know that this isn't the product for everybody, but we want to make sure that everybody going through this process has a great experience doing it, and you're also talking to the right client about this type of opportunity. Then we're going to get to some of the fun stuff. We're going to talk about the Ireland trip, and we're going to talk about a special incentive that we're going to be running with the Jim Larson Group specifically. That's going to kick off on Monday of next week. All right, so we're going to give you a little teaser today about what that's going to look like. Long history, bright future. Okay, so SBLI has been around for a long time. We started in the early 1900s. We've been protecting families for over 115 years. Well-capitalized company, mutually owned. It means that we're owned by our policyholders. We're an AM Best rated company. These kind of things are sort of some of the minutia that carriers sometimes talk about, but I think they're really, really important. If you get that client who has that extra level of savviness and really wants to know and understand where their protection is coming from, how well financially established is the company, it's important to know those details. So we like to talk about that type of stuff. At SBLI, we've got many different teams and functions. Jim talked a little bit about what I do. I oversee two teams, one that's responsible for more of the proactive relationship, sales type engagement. That's one team that I run. The second team that I run is an actual sales support desk. And because we have some of that depth in our capabilities, we're actually one of the only carriers on the Navigator platform that has real-time live support, whether that's a text message to a key contact like me or other members of the team, whether that's a chat button within the Navigator platform that we'll go a little bit more into, or whether that's an email to our brokerage sales desk. We're here every day of the week. We run a 8 to 5 Eastern business hour standpoint, but we're always looking at emails, and we're always, looking to get those resolutions, out to our key partners. So don't hesitate to reach out to us. That's what we're here for, quite literally. We offer swift resolution timelines, and we also offer world-class training and support. So it doesn't always have to be a question around, hey, I'm stuck on this, or how do I do this? It could be, hey, do you have any good sales ideas, right? I've got a client, or I'm working with a new lead segment. I really want to try to know and understand how this kind of works into the product breakdown for SBLI. Like, let's have those conversations. I love getting into that type of stuff. The third thing that we do here is obviously relationship management and direct support. Okay, so I can't emphasize it enough. Do not be shy. Reach out to us directly. We are here to help you guys and be really like that key resource. Okay, let's build, develop, and travel together. Right, we're going to talk a little bit about what that means. We've got a long history of doing some amazing trips with folks, within the SFG framework. Jim, you've been on I think every one of our SBLI trips. I know you were in Banff with us. Was it last year or the year before?
Banff was the year before. That was my very first year in business. I earned that one as a producer. I just wrote a ton of Quility level term.
Nice one.
And then Switzerland was last year. I earned in as a builder. And then we just had Italy.
Amazing. And we'll see you in Ireland.
And not wait for Ireland.
Yeah, it's going to be incredible. Awesome. Let's jump into what the product is and also what it isn't, because I think there's some really important distinctions here. Okay. Now, as I go through this, if you guys have questions, throw them in the chat, but also don't be afraid to email me. If you have a more complex question, deeper understanding type of thing, feel free to email me directly. I'm happy to spend a couple hours tonight and tomorrow, getting back to you. If you want to hop on a call, we can even do that. Okay. I know sometimes these calls are crowded. This is a populated call, so I'm going to do my best to answer everything I see come through the chat. Just know that if I don't get to something, you can always reach out to me directly. Okay. So what is EasyTrak? If anyone's written the QLT level term product in the past, there's a lot of similarities just based on kind of a product DNA standpoint. Okay. It's an instant decision term life insurance product. Coverage is up to 1 million. And it's the fastest decision, fastest signature process available on the platform. Now, when I say fastest decision, what I mean is like what Amber just said, so fast. You're going to get decisions for your clients within 30 seconds, sometimes 45 seconds, but that's the longest that we've seen it happen. What's also fast is the application. The average cycle time for applications for agents who are hyper familiar with the process, less than 10 minutes. Amber, you're helping me out here quite a bit. I love it. I love it. We offer 5 rate classes, which is a little bit unique when you think about this type of product, right? There's a lot of other carriers out there that have or have done in the past products with sort of a similar ethos, that instant decision kind of algorithmic underwriting. What you typically see there is you typically see a product that's kind of priced for the risk. And our product is priced for the risk, but we try to really break that pricing down into 5 distinct rate classes to really ensure that every client is being rated appropriately. And the coverage that they're paying for is really like equitable, right? So you're not going to find right now in the industry another instant decision product that offers 5 rate classes. We offer the ability to edit the offer in real time. That's not new necessarily, but the functionality in which we're creating the agent the ability to edit that offer is new with the EasyTrak product. That's a really, really core feature that's super, super important for 2 kind of key reasons that I like to kind of break down and kind of focus on for a second. So the first reason is if you are an agent and you're talking to a client and they have a budget consideration in mind and you get to the end of the process and they've been approved, it's a super simple conversation between you and the client to say, hey, based on what I'm seeing here, I could actually get you more coverage. And we don't have to do that by submitting more forms. We don't have to do that by resubmitting an application or contacting this carrier's underwriting department. I can do that by typing some numbers into a screen, and we're going to see your new offer appear in real time. Okay. So you get to be the agent. Not only are you the hero that got them coverage in 10 minutes, but now you're offering them 100,000 more in coverage, 250,000 more in coverage for the price of maybe a couple cups of coffee per month that they're going to have to pay for. So that's scenario number 1. Scenario number 2 is kind of an inverse of that, right? Let's say you get to the end of the process and your client fell into one of those 5 rate classes that wasn't the top, right? And maybe they were expecting to show up in the top, but they have some RX history or some health history that's pushed them down a little bit lower. And suddenly the price that they're seeing is a little bit outside their budget. Okay. Well, there's a quick way to sort of have that budget objection conversation by slightly reducing that coverage amount. Okay. So you can still get them the important coverage that they need. Maybe you're shaving off 50K, maybe you're shaving off 100K in their coverage, but you're doing it in real time, right? Without the need to reprocess an application. So you're maintaining that client on the phone. We're doing everything we can to create that no breakage sales situation. Anyone who's ever done sales over the phone will raise their hand and say, yeah, as soon as that client gets off the phone, it's open season, right? We don't know if we're going to get that chance to have that client back to have that conversation, right? So we really are trying to do everything we can to make this one seamless process, including the offer edit capability. We're now fully integrated on Navigator. So the Navigator platform is extremely robust, and our full integration within Navigator does a couple of really, really, really important things. So number 1, I'm going to try to sort of categorize this in terms of like prioritization, the way I see it. Number 1, it's a lot less glitchy than it used to be. Okay. Because the Navigator platform not only hosts our product, but it hosts a whole other host of carriers' product along with a bunch of really, really important Quility and SFG collateral, right? So the people relying on that platform needs to perform, right? And so we've really kind of hitched our wagon to the Navigator platform so that you as the agent can go through and not only start an application within Navigator, but finish it, have the client sign, have them issue their policy, all while you're staying within one window. The old process, this is a departure from that. You used to have to jump between multiple websites. And if you had an issue or a question, you had to go to yet another website and you had to send an email, and it might have been a 24-hour turnaround or longer, right? Now we have a chat functionality that directs directly to the Navigator support team. That within that chat, just a little inside baseball, within that chat, you have resources from the Quility side. You have resources from the TechFicient side. That's our technical partner who built the Navigator platform. And you have resources within the SBLI side, right? So you've got a three-pronged support contingent there anytime you have a question, and you can start that process directly within Navigator if you have an issue or a question during the time of your application. We have some new riders, right? We have a couple of waiver premium riders. We have a disability rider. These are new things that are brand new to the product. We also have kept a couple of our old riders from the past. What I'd like to do is direct this entire group to all of the resources that are within the SFG framework to see all that stuff, what's updated. I can also send after the call sort of a fast fact on what's new about the product. Maybe I can send that over to Sid or Jim, and you guys can help distribute that, right? But really, really important kind of key stuff. The other thing that I'm mentioning here is Legacy Shield. So I'd be curious to know how many folks on the call are familiar with SBLI's Legacy Shield product. I know Jim is, right? I know Jim is. So if anyone else is familiar, apologize for the redundancy, but I want to make sure I'm getting a quick 30-second blip to talk about it. So Legacy Shield is a tool that SBLI offers, and that gives clients the ability to really kind of enter in and solidify the financial planning, element of where they're at in their current life cycle. Okay. Legacy Shield is a tool that allows you to do trusts and wills. It allows you to do estate planning. It allows you to do final wishes, and it's all digital. It's a digital vault that exists within the SBLI framework. So when you sell an SBLI policy to a client, you're also selling a Legacy Shield account, and it's very, very easy. All the client has to do is become a policyholder, and they're instantly a Legacy Shield member as well. This is a free service that we offer. We don't charge anything, upside for it. We don't price our products higher because of Legacy Shield, right? It's a great service that we acquired a few years back that we utilize very, very heavily, and our clients utilize it very, very heavily. From a kind of market client conversation standpoint, you guys are going to run into tons of folks that are in that process, right? They're buying life insurance because they're thinking about these things. They're thinking about their future. They're thinking about their families. They're thinking about all the ways that they need to protect them. So you can really effectively, eliminate two problems. You can provide solutions for two problems in one conversation by offering them this product, which is great. So let's talk about what EasyTrak isn't, because I think it's really important to have some of these distinctions. Now, I want to be super, super clear. I hate to see business go to other carriers. It's my job to make sure that we sell as much SBLI as possible. But we also recognize that this is not the product for everybody. Okay, so what this product isn't is not the product for everybody. It only underwrites up to age 60, right? And because of its instant decision nature and its expediency in underwriting, it's a little more rigid than you would get with a fully underwritten product or a product with a referral category. Okay, so you're going to really want to focus on spotlighting this product with a younger, healthier client, less medical background, less RX background, right? All that stuff. This is a key product for somebody who's in that maybe earlier stage of life, maybe just purchased their first home, had their first or second child, right? It's a great product fit for folks in that category. What else this product is not is a product with bugs, glitches, or spinning wheels. Okay. Now, I'll allow for some transparency here. Put a 1 in the chat if you experienced any of that with the previous product. Don't be shy. And here they come. Amazing. Amazing. Okay. I'm happy to see these ones show up in the chat because we've affected some really, really stellar solutions to those problems that were had previously. Okay. This is on the technical platform. It's digital. I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys that, that this digital product is going to three-letter carrier just got called out. And yeah, in so many words it did, I suppose. I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys that this product won't be absent of any bugs or glitches, right? It's a digital product. It's on a digital platform. Things can happen. When things do happen, we know that we have a much better, more refined, more efficient support contingent. And the fact that we're now fully integrated on Navigator means that if there's a problem affecting the SBLI application, it's a problem that's probably affecting the overall Navigator institution, right? And those the avoidance factor on those is much more focused and solidified than it was when we were partnered with our previous technology vendor. Okay. This is also not a product with an underwriting referral or consideration category. So I'll just break into what that means a little bit. The previous product would offer an instant decision capability to many clients, but it also had a category for folks where an SBLI underwriter would actually take a look at something. And they would typically spend 2 or 3 days taking a look at something because there was a little bit of a backlog. Now, that sounds good in conversation and maybe on paper, but what we saw historically, and some of you can probably feel the pain and maybe some of the PTSD from this experience in the past, what typically happened when a client would go through that referral process is 9 times out of 10, they would get declined, which is a really, really kind of crummy experience for somebody who's waiting to see if they're going to get approved. They're waiting 1 day, they're waiting 2 days, they're waiting 3 days, only to find out that they're not approved, right? It's a bad experience for the client, and it's not a great experience for the agent either, because that client is on ice for that time that they're waiting, right? And you have the potential to lose them. Okay. So what we really wanted to focus on here, based on the feedback that we got from the field, was eliminate that referral category altogether and just make the underwriting fully algorithmic. We're going to score between a 60 and 70% offer rate, which is great for this type of product. The inside baseball on that is that we're currently at 67%, which is really great. Not everybody's going to get approved, but the folks who don't get approved, it happens within 10 minutes, and the agent has the ability to quickly pivot to somewhere where that client will hopefully get the coverage that they need. Okay. The other thing that this product is not for, and I kind of mentioned it earlier, it's not for a client with heightened risk factors. Okay. This is not a enhanced risk, type of product. It's not an accidental death type of product. It's not a final expense type of product. Okay. So this is, I hope this provides kind of a clear sort of image and fixation on what it is, what it isn't. Let's talk about the good stuff, right? Let's talk about the market approach, right? When we're thinking about putting a client through the application, putting this product in front of somebody who you've probably paid money for to get that conversation with. On the left-hand side, we're going to talk about leads. On the right-hand side, we're going to talk about the specific kind of client profile that I would be looking for if I was an agent in the field selling this. Okay. So mortgage protection leads are perfect based on some of the stuff that we mentioned earlier. Okay. People buying their first house, people are in that early, maybe first 5-year, 10-year refinancing journey. All those folks will be showing up in the mortgage protection lead program. General life leads are great as well. I would heavily focus and kind of fixate on some of the age basis if you're working within that market as well. Young professionals with a new child or home, A+ lead for this type of product. And the other thing I want to mention too is just people in need of quick coverage for an SBA or collateral assignment type of loan. Sometimes people get into situations where a life insurance application is actually required for the type of business that they're doing, right? This is a great product for somebody like that because of how quick and easy the application is. On the client side, you think about these individuals, you think about these human beings that you're talking with and that you're finding coverage for. This product goes from 18 to 60. I would kind of really, really think about the key age demographic for like 25 to 50. And the reason why we make those cutoffs, when you're younger than 25, the chances that you have the financial wherewithal and stability to be able to be eligible for this type of product in an instant decision capacity are probably less, right? So we put that, we kind of indicate that 25 plus age range as a good place to start. Will people get approved under 25? Absolutely. There's probably a slightly higher chance that they wouldn't get approved based on their financial situation. On the other end of the spectrum, folks over 50, they've been around for a while. They've got more medical records. They've got more conditions, right? They've probably had more prescriptions in their lifetime than other folks. Those are also chances that folks would probably become less approved in that later age range as well. Non-nicotine users is kind of an obvious one, but I want to mention it anyway. This product does have a nicotine rating. So if somebody is a smoker or uses tobacco, they can qualify for the product. But if you're really, really thinking about it from a foolproof lead source capacity, right, a non-nicotine user is a much better fit, much better candidate for this product than somebody who smokes regularly. Easily explainable, minimal RX history, that kind of goes without saying, right? As you're having that consultative conversation with your client and you're figuring those things out, somebody who's got a long history of medications, whether they be psychological or pain management, et cetera, might be a better fit with another carrier who underwrites that stuff more effectively than this product will. The last piece that I want to really, really focus on for a second is clients who value the most efficient experience for the best price. Okay. There's a whole cohort of people out there, a whole generation of people, and it's people who grew up holding this, right? I just held up my iPhone for anybody who can't see me. Okay. These folks are used to having things happen fast, and they're also willing to pay for things to happen faster than folks who didn't grow up with that piece of technology or that access to continuous unlimited information. Okay. So somebody who falls into those categories, that age range, and really, really values that quick, expedient experience, this is a perfect product to put them down the journey for. So we've got some new support tools and resources. A couple of these things I mentioned, a couple of these things I didn't. I just want to highlight them really, really quick. One of the pieces that I think is really, really key and crucial is the fact that this product now exists in the test drive suite on the Navigator platform. So I got to hang out at the beginning of the call, and I got to see how many new writers are in the group. You guys are killing it with your recruiting, right? And by the way, congrats to all the new writers on the call. You've just joined the Rockstar agency. So welcome and kick ass, right? Test Drive is a demo environment. Okay. So it gives you as the agent the ability to trial applications within the Test Drive segment. Okay. So there's a few other carriers that are there as well. This gives you a no risk, high reward ability to get to know the application, get to know the ins and outs, and get to sort of understand, how it works, how it feels, how long do certain things take, right? What questions come next? This allows you to craft your conversations better. This allows you to understand the types of questions that you might need to ask, the types of information that you might need to gather when you're speaking with your client, when you're having that kind of consultation. It's a great tool. Check it out and let us know what you think, right? The other feature that I want to mention here is the chat feature, okay? There's a few other carriers on the platform that have a chat feature. I'm proud to say that ours is the only one that's directly linked to both the Navigator team, the TechFishing team, who's the platform team, and the SBLI team as well. So anytime a chat item comes through this request, you've got 3 sets of eyes from 3 different companies reviewing that request. Okay. Sometimes requests will get handed off, right? If the Navigator team picks it up and they think it's a better question to have the SBLI team answer, they will do that. They'll forward it over to us. But I'm happy to report that forwarding isn't happening via email. That forwarding is happening via a interdisciplinary Teams chat that we all share. Okay, so that's another little piece of inside baseball. We've got a chat within a chat that's happening behind the scenes with these 3 teams. New, easier signature process. Okay, this is another big piece. Now I got my screen's kind of minimized here, but what I'm calling attention to is 2 kind of key parts of the application experience. So the first part, if you were to read this, kind of top to bottom, the screens on the top part of the slide are showcasing the new HIPAA authorization format, right? Which is basically we're allowing a client to authorize their HIPAA, right? Which is basically, hey, I'm giving you the keys to the underwriting kingdom. You have access to my information. You have access to my doctor's information. You have access to my medical records, et cetera. This is happening through a simple process of texting the client a link, having them recite a code, and then click that they, have read a disclosure and that they're ready to be underwritten. That process hasn't changed much from the previous application. It's a lot more streamlined now. There's a lot less text and questions being asked, but it's primarily what you probably experience in the QLT world. What's really different is the signature process at the end of the application. Now, what used to happen is we would require that same read back the text methodology when somebody needed to get their final offer, issued and assigned. We've done away with that. Okay. So what that means is when you are sending that offer, that final offer to the client, and they're receiving it via that text message, all they have to do is sign it. They don't have to recite anything back to you. They don't have to give you any level of information. They can even do it in their own time if they have to get off the phone, right? It doesn't require them to stay on the phone with you while they go through that entire process. Now, if you're a good savvy agent, you'll probably stay on the call with them, right? To make sure that they get that thing issued and paid, right? But it's a really, really seamless process. And for the client, it's also kind of a one platform experience as well. They receive that link, they review, right? They do a DocuSign, and within that DocuSign, once they go through the 3 or 4 signatures that they need to complete on the application, they're done. They've issued their policy, right? And they're now covered by SBLI and you as the agent. All right. I want to pause there before I get to the fun stuff to see if there's any questions. Don't be shy. And also don't hesitate to hit me after the call, whether it's tonight or at another time. Okay. Here's where we're going this year. No questions. I want to write it. Awesome. You already have, Amber. So keep going. We appreciate it. We appreciate your partnership. Full comp, am I right? Yep. You bet. So we're going to Ireland next year. And we are taking 20 eligible folks to join us on our gallivanting tour around Ireland. And I use the word gallivanting because we're actually staying in 2 locations, and we've actually extended the trip by 2 days, right? So we are making this a really big time kind of trip to remember. So we're taking the top 10 personally producing writing agents. The threshold for qualification is $60,000 in annualized first year premium. Okay. We're also taking the top 10 agency builders. The qualification there is also a 60,000 number, but instead of annualized first year premium, it's annualized first year commission, right? Simple distinction there. Obviously, there'll be a business quality contingent there, net of not takens and lapses and all that good stuff, right? But this is where we're headed. We're headed to 2 spot on locations, right? The first is a hotel called the Europe. It's on the water. It's beautiful. It's in a nature setting. There's going to be tons of activities from horse riding to falconry, all the Guinness and whiskey that you can drink, all the nature that you can experience, right? We're going to be doing day trips into Dublin and other primetime locations. The second experience is in a castle. It's quite literally a castle. It's called the Carton House. It's going to be world class. This is also, if anyone's ever been to this part of the world, whether you've been to Ireland or Scotland or any of the other sort of northern green parts of Europe, this is the best time of year to go. It's just simply wonderful. So we hope to see you there. Now, in terms of qualifying for the trip, right? Pretty clear and obvious on how we're doing that with the breakdown of the premium and the commission. What we've done, because we've released a new product, is we're putting a little bit of extra gas in the tank. Okay. So from the day that we launched the product all the way to the end of August, September 1st, we're offering 2x credits on that trip. Okay. So we've kind of changed the format of the game a little bit. Okay. So we have some folks that have written a lot of business and they are at the top of the list and they'll probably remain at the top of the list. We have some folks where that list has changed dramatically, right? And the game is really on now to see who's going to kind of qualify for this. So just to put things into perspective on this really, really quick, if you're an agent and you decide to go full bore and you write $10,000 in premium for the next month, right? We're going to count that as 20K. Okay. So if you do that for 2 months, we're going to count that as 40K. You get to the end of the contest promotion, you're 2/3 of the way there to qualify for the trip with a bunch of time left in the year to get all the way there. Okay. So don't think that just because you're not close or you don't feel like you're close, right, that you can't make it. We all know that that's a poor attitude to have, especially in this business, right? You can do it. Okay. Yeah, Jim, I like your breakdown there. That totally makes sense. All right, now let's talk about what's going to happen in a little bit more real time. Okay, so there is one more kind of by the way sort of special thing that we're going to do specifically for the Jim Larson group here. Okay, and there's going to be an announcement on Monday of next week on the 21st. We're going to run a contest with you guys, and it's going to go from that date on Monday all the way to the end of August. All right. And what that's going to look like is we're going to be giving away over $10,000 in leads credits and other prizes, right? So we've got some really, really cool swag. I just pressed the order button on some SBLI Rambler Yeti tumblers, which are really, really cool. So you can take that tumbler, you can fill it with Guinness or whiskey or your favorite beverage and make your way over to Ireland, right? So we're going to be giving away a bunch of those. We're going to be giving away some other really, really cool swag, plus a good amount of lead credits that I think will be very, very impactful. Okay. Anybody can qualify for this. This is really about learning the new product. Okay. So we want everybody to get in there and experience it. We want everybody to see how easy it is. We want everybody to talk to us. We want everybody to give us their feedback. What's good? What did you like about it? What did you not like about it? What would you like to see different in the future with it, right? This is a long-term relationship, and we're ready to rock and roll with you guys. So stay tuned for that. Jim, I'll probably coordinate with maybe you and Sid on getting a PDF out there so that we can kick this thing off on Monday when we're ready to roll. So stay tuned on that, and we'll see you in Denver. See you in Denver in a few weeks. Awesome.
Man, I love this. Guys, put a 2 in the comments if you are way more ready to write SBLI EasyTrak than you were before this call. I will tell you that SBLI has been my favorite carrier. Again, I earned Banff as a producer. I earned it on my own pen because I wrote a ton of it. I loved it. And here's the cool thing is while we're taking the top 10, right? We're the top 10 producers, taking the top 10. Nobody's run away with this. Because SBLI has been in this reformatting stage, a lot of people, during the reformat, found other companies to go right with.
Yep.
So here we are relaunching, and it is wide open for someone to put their hand up and say, I'm going to go do this. Have you met Travis Stevens?
I don't believe I have.
I don't think he was in Italy with us.
He wasn't in Italy. No.
Okay.
Yep.
So he was in Switzerland with SBLI.
Okay.
And he earned it as a producer in 3 months. He literally was like, oh, I think I want to go on that trip. And he just decided to wrote a lot of it in 3 months and booked his ticket, and he was there in Switzerland.
That's it.
If you decide to do this, especially with the double production from now through the end of August, guys, decide to do it. Go hunt it. The people that fit that category, just make this your first stop.
Yep.
And you'll have fun. And it's full commission, and it pays the next day. That was my favorite part. When I came in here and I'm like, I need to make money now, I could put in an SBLI that would get approved, and I knew exactly how much money was going to hit my bank account the next day because I sold that policy.
That's a great point.
That part was really cool. It didn't sit in underwriting. I didn't wonder when. I could just go to work and get paid. So anyway, hey,
Amen.
Russ, I appreciate you, man. This is going to be a lot of fun. We are less than a month from conference. Guys, stop by the SBLI table. Say hi. You have a friend now at SBLI. Stop in, say hi. Every table has swag. Russ is going to bring the best swag. So stop by, grab some swag, say hey, ask questions. Appreciate you, buddy. Thanks for your time tonight.
You bet, guys. Thank you so much for having me. And yeah, keep up the great work. You guys are doing great things.
All right. Bye, y'all.
Awesome.